Joining us now to talk about all this, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds, welcome back to the show, as usual. Byron, did you see any part of this discussion?
Saw most of it, Larry, then I had to go back and get a little clip of what happened at the top. Look, at the end of the day, your riff is exactly right. It's a hostile environment, obviously. A lot of black journalists tend to lean Democrat, lean very left. Hostile environment, but Donald Trump was there to answer the questions about the things that do matter to black America, like matter to all of America. And it is securing our border, it is inflation, it's energy policy, and so much more. That's a major step forward, not only for President Trump, but really for our entire country, because he's not afraid of going into any venue at any time, anywhere.
You know, not all the questions. I mean, our Harris Faulkner was there to put some sanity into it, but he was attacked by a couple of the panelists. Okay, fine. But I thought he held his cool pretty well, Byron, and he had a sense of humor about it. What'd you think?
No, he did. And look, I think at the beginning, obviously coming right out, talking about past statements, I just hope that apparently Kamala Harris is doing the same thing by Skype or by Zoom. My hope is that they come out with tough questions about her past statements, all the things that she has stood against, you know, rational things like private health care, like wanting to actually ban fracking, things of that nature. Those are her previous statements. Hopefully they go at her with those. But at the end of the day, President Trump took the incoming fire from the press. It happens. Look, if you're in this business, you're going to take incoming fire from the press, held firm. But his entire message was about our country, our economy, our borders, and what that means in the lives of all Americans.
All right, let's play some more sound from it. Here's Mr. Trump on migrants taking jobs. Hang on a minute.
So she was a border. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs, and frankly, they're taking union jobs.
Now, I think that's a very fair assessment. I mean, that's what many, many economists are saying about the situation. They're taking jobs or, Byron, they're keeping real wages much lower than they ought to be. What you think?
No, that's absolutely the correct point, because when you bring in so much low-skilled worker, who that really hurts are people who are at the bottom end of our economic ladder. That is black workers, Hispanic workers, and white workers, people who are driving trucks, working in hospitality, working in restaurants. They're doing everything they can to make ends meet, and Kamala Harris has allowed tens of millions of people to come in our country illegally. They have gotten documents from our government to be able to go work, and now they're taking those jobs. That is a very credible statement to make. And so at the end of the day, the American people have to decide for themselves. Are you going to fall prey to the emotions that the Democrats are going to try to bring into this election? Or are you going to choose President Trump, who's going to put the American people first, who's going to get our border secured, going to get our economy online, and by the way, and I'll also add, get us out of these conflicts across the globe. All of those things matter to the future of our country.
All right, I got one more for you. One more sound on inflation destroying the middle class. Here it comes.
The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class. And if you just take a look at a lot of things they don't include, like interest rates. Interest rates went from 2.4% to 10%, and you can't get the money. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream. Young people, young black people, they don't have the American dream anymore.
So this is the affordability crisis that you and I have talked a lot about, including losing hope for the American dream of buying your own home. I thought Trump laid it out very well. What you think of that one?
No, he did a great job laying that out, and it's true. Young people in our country are struggling. Black young people, white young people, Hispanic young people, they're all struggling with the affordability crisis. But people need to know that the reason we had this massive inflation is because Kamala Harris was the tie-breaking vote as vice president of the United States. She walked into the Senate chamber. She voted for this massive inflation when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris decided they wanted to spend trillions more dollars in an economy that was ready to come back to life after COVID-19. That started the massive inflation, which has destroyed the purchasing power of so many young people in our country and so many families in our country. Donald Trump is 100% correct on that. You
know, I just think, as sort of a last thought, to some extent, what Mr. Trump did and said today And again, he is unafraid of any verbal compact, and I thought he held his cool. He had a good sense of humor at different points, and he was on message. This is a precursor to the debate. You know, you've had this little boomlet for Kamala Harris from the liberal media anyway. She hasn't been responded to, and this is the most public response Mr. Trump has made, and I thought he scored heavily. And I don't know what you think about this, but I think I see a debating strategy coming back to the key points on the border, on the economy and inflation. Am I wrong about this? Is this a harbinger of a debate?
No, I think you're right, and there's going to be more put onto the bones of what you're talking about right now, Larry. Listen, I've been watching Kamala Harris give her speeches in the last week or so. She's not talking about policy, Larry. She's not talking about any of the issues the American people are actually facing. She's trying to present herself as if she's the second coming of Barack Obama, that just because she's on the stage, everything's going to be all right. But we went through the Obama presidency. Things were not all right. Donald Trump fixed our country, got it back on track. Now we're in the Biden-Harris administration, and the country has been broken again. So this is, I think, the way this campaign is going to be laid out going forward. America, you have a choice between Kamala Harris, who has never voted for one thing or supported one idea that is going to fix this country for the American people, versus Donald Trump, where the entire agenda is about putting the American people first. The choice is clear. Donald Trump needs to be the next president of the United States.
All right, we'll leave it there. Byron Donalds, thank you for that rundown. As always, sir, we totally appreciate it.